Match of the day to start the fourth quarter. Lentini got first hands on it. Couldn't gather the loose footy though, and Cam Wild with the new threads kicks the footy out towards Naylor, who nearly took a terrific contested mark. Binion did enough to affect the spoil, and Montmorency come away with it. It rolls out of play, but it's been one of those days for Joel Naylor so far. Just hasn't, nothing's really stuck. The delivery's not been great, and Sam Binion's done a terrific job on him so far, the Montmorency fullback. As ball gets spun back into play here, Verkic got the first hands to it. Cam Wild gathered the loose footy. He was harassed by Connor Kane. His kick forward was cut off by Lentini, who's going to go the aggressive switch. They've got an overlap here, Montmorency. Loose player out on the far side was Will Panozzo, who goes inside 50 with a nice ball and finds Ben Patterson. As there's a bit of push shove going on at half forward in front of the Montmorency bench. Hurstbridge has just got to be a bit careful here that they don't give this game away in free kicks. So Ben Patterson on a 45-degree angle at right half forward for the Magpies. He's got a kick of about 40 metres in front of him here. He's already kicked 2 today. Let's see what he can do here. Looks pretty good.
He was happy with that as soon as it came off the boot there.
Yep, put him in the book for number 3. And if the door wasn't shut already on Hurstbridge, it may well be now. That's the 13th goal for Montmorency, who have been kicking cricket scores in recent weeks. They could be on track for another one here if this gets out of hand, and they're in cruise control at the moment. It's Montmorency 13-12-80 to Hurstbridge 4-8-32.
I think there might have been some words from the bench by the looks of it, where there's Ethan Taylor trying to talk to the umpire about the incident that just happened before. I think there may have been some words coming from the Montmorency bench potentially that might have sparked a little bit of a fuff there.
Ball back in the middle here. McIntosh had first hands on it from Montmorency. His kick was a little bit smothered, but came straight to Lentini, who kicks this inside 50. Patterson almost had a one-handed mark, couldn't complete the deal. Hurstbridge have got the numbers if they can track it down. Noah Barnes eventually gathers the loose footy, gives it back to Nagel. Nagel's short ball to half forward finds Kane Hall, and Hall finds Fitzgerald, who was looking to handball over the top to Jake Richards, and McIntosh was on the spot there waiting for him and hustles the Hurstbridge defender out of bounds, so we'll have a throw in right on the interchange gate here on the broadcast side. Gone 3 minutes here in the final term on the NFNL match of the day. McLaren won the hit out. Footy came the way of Mitch Wild. He's kick inside 50 for Hurstbridge. Montmorency have got the numbers. Uzlak cleaned up at half back, and Naylor's into it with a couple of Montmorency players here. I think he's had enough, the big fella, as McIntosh comes away with the footy for Montmorency. His kick found Bone inside 50. No markers up for either team as Ben Patterson tracks it down, and eventually the ball rolls out of play as Naylor just continues to go on with it. Apologies for the quality of our audio equipment there if you're picking up any language there from the fans. As ball's back into play here, Logan Butcher got a clear hit out, but Hurstbridge will get the clearing kick from half back out to the wing. There's a 2-on-2 to win here. Handball over the top from Josh Mills was a bit of a scrappy one, and eventually it comes the way of Hurstbridge as Hymus gathers it at half forward, and he's escorted over the line for another boundary throw-in. As Uzlak and Connor Kane were both there ready to take him over.
We've still got Uzlak hanging around this back line just as a loose man sitting in the middle. Like I said, you'd think that someone would want to man up on him. There's no way you're getting it in.
Verkic took a heavy fall there out of the ruck. Scrappy kick inside 50 does find the hands of Uzlak, who just calmly handballs it away. Montmorency have got the link-up numbers here, and there just continues to be spot fires all over the place here. McLaren's got a hold of Lentini at half-back. Play goes on. Montmorency have a flying shot at goal through Nicholas Green, and that was a missed opportunity there from the Magpies, who could have kicked another goal. Kicking was a bit loose from Hurstbridge, Ball gathered by Corey Sleep. His handball was also wayward, though. They might be able to tidy this up. And eventually they do. I think it was Middleton who came away with it, but his kick's also cut off. So this game just descending into a bit of ping-pong here as both teams a bit more focused on each other rather than the footy. And Binion's just going to slow this down and kick out wide to McIntosh at left half back here for the Magpies. McIntosh called to play on. He's got an option on the switch, which is where he heads with Isaac Baldwin, who's aligned to St Kilda's VFL program. His kick found Bone, who gives it straight back to Baldwin, who's going to load up inside 50, looking for Uzlak, I think it was,
wow,
who took a juggling mark over the top of East. That's a terrific mark there from the smaller player. And Nicholas Uzlak will go back and have a look at his first goal of the day. Some great link-up play there from the Magpies. Just had the numbers in the middle of the ground. We've seen that a couple of times, but not with a lot of regularity. This is a fairly small ground in the scheme of things, so it is hard to get that running game going at times here at Hurstbridge, but that was a really good piece of play there from Montmorency. And it's ended up with Nicholas Uzlak, who's walking in very deliberately to goal here. This would absolutely seal it for Montmorency if he can put it through. And he's just hung it out to the right. So Hurstbridge will get a chance to reload here. And it's Montmorency leading by 50, an even 50 points here on the NFNL match of the day. Kick goes up to the wing. Hurstbridge got the numbers here. Fitzgerald's scrappy kick was okay, found Wild. He's going to spiral this one inside 50. Who can take a mark here for Hurstbridge? Great defensive spoil there from Jenkin, who came over the top of his opponent. And we'll have a boundary throw in.
Good positioning there by Harry O'Brien. It was unfortunate that it did get, punched out of the way, but the positioning there was actually perfect. And that kick from Ken Wild, although he may have had someone on his tail, very close on his tail, he actually made it work very well.
Yep, a bit of chaos footy might yield some results here for Hurstbridge. Naylor was in the ruck, couldn't find a teammate with the hit out. Baldwin's kick found Fitzgerald, who had a flying ping at goal, but it was always off to the left and it's out on the full. So Montmorency will get a chance to bring this back through the hands of Jenkin, who we haven't seen a lot of in this second half. He was prolific in the first couple of quarters, but didn't have a lot of work to do in the third term. But he's had a couple of disposals to start this final term. Gone 7.5 minutes here in the fourth quarter. He's going to drive this one out to the far wing. Big fist came from McLaren. Ended up in the hands of Middleton. No winners in the contest, though. Cam Wild was over it, eventually fished it out to prevent a free kick from being paid. And the umpire will come in and sort this out at right half forward for Hurstbridge.
Lots of tired bodies you can see for both teams out there. It has been quite a fast-paced quarter already, so it's as expected.
Yeah, ball's on the far side of the ground here, so teams aren't able to really get anyone off for an interchange. As Mitch Dale's got the footy, he's got a problem now. He didn't really handball it or kick it, but eventually regathers it and is wrapped up by Patterson. So I'll have another stoppage here. McLaren won the hit out. McIntosh was playing the sweeper for Montmorency, gave it to Lentini, who gave it over the top to Uzlak. Uzlak did well to get around Hymas. He's going to drive an absolute rainmaker up to centre wing on the far side. Hurstbridge have got the numbers. Karakalchev gives a handball over the top to Nagel. Nagel's handball left a bit to be desired. Made Jake Richards work hard for it. Hurstbridge Montmorency going to come up with this here. Having a flying shot at goal was Corey Sleep, and he's just missed to the left. So Montmorency, after a pretty efficient first three quarters in front of goal, have just lost the radar a little bit here. That's 1-3 for the quarter so far. They lead 83 to Hurstbridge 32, but the kick-in was a scrappy one, and intercepting was the man who just kicked the point in Corey Sleep. Strolls in for the easiest of goals. And that very much is game over now for Montmorency. They'll be winning their fourth game in a row here at Hurstbridge as Corey Sleep kicks his second goal. And the Magpies in total control here. They lead 14-5-89 to Hurstbridge 4-8-32.
It's good to see second efforts there from Corey Sleep. Like you said, he had that first ping, missed it, went back, put his heart out there and just absolutely drilled it in for Hurstbridge.
And they're going to get another look here. Montmorency from the centre bounce. Oh, taking a terrific grab is Matthew Clark. That's a huge mark from the Magpies full forward. As Nash Holmes it was who got the clearance from the restart. And again, there's a bit of afters in the forward 50 for Montmorency, but I won't worry Matthew Clark. He's going back to have a look at his second goal of the day. And this is getting horribly ugly now for Hurstbridge, who, it must be said, haven't fired a shot in the second half, as Matthew Clark comes in and puts it through. 2 goals in 30 seconds there for Montmorency, and they continue to build this lead up. It's going to be a big win on the road for the Magpies. It's 15-5-95 Montmorency to Hurstbridge 4-8-32, and we've gone 10 minutes, nearly 11 minutes on the NFNL match of the day.
Yeah, it's yes, safe to say I think Monty have the game here. It's good to see, like we said, 4 on the run now, which is excellent for them.
So ball back in the middle here. Butcher and Wild taking a turn in the ruck for their respective teams. Corey Sleep's also having a spell on the ball. His handball out was gathered by Fitzgerald momentarily, who gave it up to Mitch Wild, I reckon that was. Actually, it was Kane Hall, rather, who's getting involved up around the ground. Looks like Hurstbridge is just spinning the magnets a bit. Hymas has gone forward after starting down back in the first half. As the clearing kick out of congestion came the way of Montmorency. Gathering the loose ball was Patterson. He might get it back here after the scrappy kick from Kieran Keating. And there's going to be a free kick going the way of Keating, I reckon it is. And this is turning into one-way traffic at the moment. Actually, it's Ben Patterson who's going to get the free kick here, who's already kicked 3. This would be number 4 for the Magpies forward. And just the range of forward options Molly they've had so far has been a clear difference in this game with, you know, they've almost had 10 individual goal kickers to this point. It's been a clear difference in this game.
Yeah, absolutely it has.
So Ben Patterson here in the left forward pocket for the Magpies to bring up the 3 figures. Oh, he's hit the woodwork. Ball smashes into the right goal post, and it's just the minor score. So Montmorency move on to 15-6-96. Hurstbridge 4-8-32. As an absolute rainmaker from the defensive 50 for Hurstbridge. Ball in dispute here, and it's eventually escorted over the line. As both teams just sort themselves out, boundary umpire will get involved. As we tick into 13 minutes gone here in the final term. As Jake Wild took front spot. Getting the clearance was Dylan Keating, who goes inside 50, and a nice mark taken uncontested in the end by the man who just had the previous shot, Ben Patterson, who has been a real headache for the Hurstbridge defence. He's slipped under their radar a number of times, and he did again there.
Just the lack of manning up on their opponents. Like you said before, they seem to be getting, every time that ball is going into their 50, there seems to be a mark that is taken and shots at goal. Whether it goes through or not is a different story, but it's a lot more than what we can say for Hurstbridge.
They've had all the answers today, Montmorency. As Ben Patterson is on the runway again. Let's see what he can do here. That kick's just fading right again. He's got the fades going on at the moment, Ben Patterson. And that just drifts across the face for another minor score. So Middleton's going to bring this back in for Hurstbridge. Out to the far side looking for Dale. Ball bursts through his hands and out of play. So we'll have a throw in on centre wing on the far side of the ground. Ball spun back into play here. Verkic going up against, I think that was Jake Wild. And we'll have another stoppage on centre wing here. It does feel like the steam's gone out of this game a touch, and that probably should have been a free kick to Hurstbridge in the ruck contest. Verkic was up high, couldn't get hands to it. Hurstbridge will come up with it on the ground through Dyer. Gave his handball up to Noah Barnes, who's just cruising through midfield, looking for an option. Had to go out wide, looking for Kane Hall. Terrific fist there from Connor Kane, disrupted. Hall's marking attempt, and eventually the ball rolls out of play. That's a really nice defensive effort there from Connor Kane. Actually, Dylan Keating it was, I should say. And we'll have a boundary throw in on the interchange gates here on the broadcast side of the ground. Verkic got first hands to it. Hurstbridge have got the numbers at the front of the contest though. Naylor's herring out after this. Great spoil there from Uzlak, who has, if he's not best on ground for Montmorency, he'd be very, very close, I reckon. He's absolutely dominated that defensive 50 for the Magpies.
Absolutely he has. It's be a pretty good tie between himself and Lentini, I think.
We haven't seen much of Lentini in this quarter so far. I think he's being sat on by Hurstbridge. Montmorency going to come up with the footy here, and Lentini does get involved now. His handball over the top was a good one. Kicking it forward was Ben Patterson, who was up on the wing. Ball towards half forward. No clear winners on the ground. And they'll probably have to ball this up. Nothing surer than Marcus Lentini getting a touch when we say he's been a little bit quieter in the third quarter.
It's the opposite of the commentator's curse.
He pops back up and just says, "Oi, I'm still here." As Verkic won the hit out at half forward. In there was Bone for Montmorency. Nicholas Green swoops on the loose footy. And taking on contested mark was Bone, who plays on quickly, looking for the short ball inside 50. There's no one home for the Magpies. And umpire pays kicking in danger here to Jake Wild, I reckon that is, down back. Nash Holmes just protesting about the decision, but it's a bit late for that as Hurstbridge clear this out to the far wing. Noah Barnes had to sit under a high ball, did well. His kick up towards half forward was looking for Bryce Arthur. Dropping back in the hole was William Jenkins, couldn't take the mark. He's going to win the footy back here though. And the Montmorency numbers went out. His short kick finds Baldwin at left half back. Oh, his kick left a bit to be desired there. East did enough to cut it off for Hurstbridge and get a hand in. Lentini just threw it over his head back to Jenkins, who then shifts it to Baldwin. And Baldwin's short ball was a good one. Montmorency just looking to eat up a bit of time here in this final term. That was a short kick over the top. Wasn't the best one though. One of those one-step kicks where they just get lent back on a bit, and we'll have another boundary throw in.
Seems to be the order of the game here. If it's not a throw in, it's a throw up, and a lot of stoppages throughout. Like you said, with Ben Freeley being a bit of a smaller oval, it's bound to happen.
Fitzgerald, as he often has, got first hands on it at the stoppage. He's running forward here, trying to get another link-up play. He does. His handball over the top to Nagel was good. He's going to get a third touch in this chain. Well, the handball was a bit scrappy from Nagel. Didn't quite find him. Nagel did enough to regather the footy, though. Gave it to Karakalchev, who thought he was out of bounds. That boundary umpire was just playing a bit of catch-up. Karakalchev's attempt from the boundary line, I think, was actually a goal, but the boundary umpire had already blown the whistle, so we'll have another throw-in. Just a quick score check in some other games. North Heidelberg going to beat Greensborough at Greensborough. They're currently 28 points in front, 91-63. As ball spun back into play here, we'll check on some other scores shortly. As Nash Holmes comes up with the footy, gives it to Lentini, who was playing the sweeper role. Kick only got as far as East. Ball burst through his hands. Hurstbridge got the numbers here. Fitzgerald just ducked and dived through a couple. He's got it back at ground level. And Montmorency have won a free kick, but they took the advantage, and cutting it off was Hymas, who's gone back to the back line. He's going to switch play to McCabe. Oh, McCabe's kick was an absolute shocker. Found Baldwin, laced him out perfectly. He's going to play on. There's no options forward to centre here. He's going to have a ping from a long way out. This would get the journey if it rolls through. And it does. And that is the exclamation mark on what's been a pretty dominant win for Montmorency. It brought up three figures again. And all the players get to Baldwin to celebrate what was a great individual effort. And Montmorency going to run away big winners here. 71 points is now the margin. It's blown out in a heartbeat. They lead 16-7, 103 to Hurstbridge, 4-8-32.
Absolutely. They've turned into, you've said it perfectly, a bit of a blowout here. We thought maybe in that second quarter that Hurstbridge might be able to create a little bit more of a contest. And like I said, in that second quarter, it felt like eliminating the scoreboard that Hurstbridge were winning. But it's just, Monty have just been able to show him up.
Yeah, it's been a very impressive display from the Magpies as Jackson Bone gets the centre clearance. Taking a good contested mark at half-back, though, was Hymas for Hurstbridge. Full-time at War Memorial Park in Greensborough and North Heidelberg, and it's North Heidelberg that have won by 28 points as the turnover's been affected again. This could be another goal coming up. They're raffling it here, Montmorency. They messed it up, though. They had one handball too many. Corey Sleep probably entitled to have a shot there, but he was looking for Clark, I think it was, in the goal square. And eventually a ball up will need to be had.
Just trying to share the load around, I think.
Yeah, just trying to spread the love as much as they can. Ball in dispute just on the goal line here. Hasn't gone over, so the field umpire will have to throw it up again. Yeah, North Heidelberg getting a 28-point win over Greensborough. Diamond Creek also beating Banyule as there was a flying shot at goal from Montmorency from the stoppage, but never really threatened the goal face. Diamond Creek chalking up a 57-point win, I should say, over Banyule as the kick comes inside 50 from a turnover in the middle of the ground by Uzlak and finds Nash Holmes, who can go back and have another shot on goal. He's kicked one today, the goal-kicking midfielder. He'd love to add another one. No angle really to speak of. Kick of about 40 metres. As Nash Holmes comes in, had to run out to the right to just get the arc going a bit and left it out to the right-hand side.
Just couldn't quite hook it in time.
Yep. That was a tired kick, I suspect. He's done a power of work in the midfield today, Nash Holmes, so you can't blame him for having a bit of fatigue in the legs. As Hymas kicks it up to centre wing. Naylor was looking to take mark of the year, went way too early, and Binion takes the uncontested mark as the sort of pack collapsed in front of him. He goes short and finds Nicholas Uzlak, who retreats to Binion again, probably 10 metres back from where he took the mark previously. His kick's a little bit more adventurous this time, was looking for Jenkin, had a couple of Hurstbridge players there to break it up, and Jenkin eventually gave away the free kick. And Hurstbridge is going to take the advantage here. Fitzgerald goes in short to Barnes. Barnes' kick inside 50 was looking for Nagel, but Uzlak, as he so often has today, gets back onto the loose footy for Montmorency and gives it to McIntosh, who shares it wide with Baldwin. Baldwin gave it to Green, and Green gave the handball to Lentini, who gave it back to Green, and he's going to drive this up the wing. Flies are there for both sides. No one can take the mark. Matthew Clark was looking after his opponent at ground level, and eventually the ball rolls out of play.
There was just a prime example of that handball game that Monty have been playing and trying to play when they couldn't throughout this whole entire game, and it's just so lethal. When it gets started, you can't stop it.
68-point winners, Bundura over West Preston Lakeside. That game's wrapped up. 93 Bundura to 25 West Preston, so the Roosters still looking for their first win in 2026. As the full-time results start to trickle in. Heidelberg look like they're going to stave off a pretty gallant Eltham side. They're in front by 19 points, I should say, ticking towards full-time in that game. So Heidelberg will continue their unbeaten streak. Ball in dispute here at half-forward for Montmorency. The handball from Uzlak came to Baldwin, and Uzlak got a bit of treatment after he handballed it, and that was a heavy bump. I can't see who that was. Jake Wild, it might have been, who collected him. And actually, I think the umpire's going to reach for a... is he reaching for a card here? No, it doesn't look like it. It was like still down, though. That was a heavy... some heavy contact there. As both teams still getting into it a bit here. Naylor's got a fistful of a couple of Montmorency jumpers. Just letting out a bit of frustration from the day he's had. As Montmorency take the free kick and have a shot on goal, and it's away to the left. As Uzlak's still on the ground here.
I'm surprised they let that go. Yeah. I feel as though they should have stopped the play for that.
Just looking through the binoculars here. Trainers are still just checking on Uzlak to Just check that he's okay. Looks like he's talking to them. The game's obviously been stopped here while the Montmorency medics get out to him and just assess his condition. He is getting help to his feet now, though, which is a positive sign. But he does look a bit shaken up from that collision there. So I dare say that'll probably be the last that we see of him today. He's been just about best on ground, I reckon.
I completely agree. He's been an absolute pillar for the team today. His presence in the back line has just been absolutely terrific. Like I said, he's somehow managed to get away with this whole game without a player, and his intercept marks and the way he composes himself in that back line is just absolutely admirable.
Yeah, they just haven't had that second key forward, have they, Hurstbridge, to kind of occupy both Binion and Uzlak back there. Uzlak's been able to drop off smaller opponents for most of the day and just sit in the hole in front of Naylor to really snuff out any chance that he had of kicking a meaningful bag of goals today. So he just makes his way off the ground. He's getting there now. He's not even going through the interchange gates, just walking straight to the bench. So yeah, we definitely won't see him again. As play's about to get back underway here with a kick in for Hurstbridge, and it's Hymas who's going straight up the middle. Was looking for Jake Richards, who was bumped in the marking contest, and he looks like he's a bit ginger as well. Might have copped a bit of a corky or something in that contest. It's not exactly what you want with only 3 minutes or so to go in this contest. So he's going to just handball this away to Hymas, who has a bit of time to just steady himself. Well, the kick was a bit of a worm burner looking for O'Brien. Wasn't able to gather the loose footy, and he's given away a free kick to Patterson for Montmorency. In fact, they're going to play on and take the advantage here. Jackson Bone had it, has a shot at goal, and that wasn't his best effort either, as Lachlan East drops back and takes the mark in front of his defensive goal square. And Hurstbridge will try and clear defensive 50 again. That's a better kick to O'Brien from D50. He gives the handball off to Fitzgerald, who was collared straight away. Hurstbridge will have to try and work this out by foot, and they do. And it's McCabe who ends up with it on the broadcast side wing. His kick up to Noah Barnes. Couldn't quite take the mark in front of Will Panozzo, and eventually they both fall over the boundary line and will have a throw in. So not long to go here at Hurstbridge. And what's been a dominant performance here from Montmorency. Burkic won the hit out. Blake Fitzgerald looks like he's got a bit of cramp. He gave the handball away. Karakalchev didn't think he was out of bounds, but the boundary umpire was in the perfect spot to say that he was. And the boundary umpire will get involved again here, as both rucks lock up. Burkic won the hit out, not decisively though. Ends up in the hands of Nicholas Uzlak, who gave his handball to Marriott. Marriott's handball over the top was cut off by Barnes. Barnes' handball over the top was looking for Middleton. Hurstbridge will work this out if they can. Montmorency come up with it through Bone, who kicks inside 50, but there's no one home. All the forwards would push right up to try and impact the stoppage, and the Hurstbridge defenders will try and sweep this away again. Kick up towards the wing, looking for Nash Dyer, was a bit strong. Lentini ends up with it, gives the handball back over the top. They can go inside 50 again here, and Matthew Clark all on his own. Smart kick inside 50 there. I reckon that was Corey Sleep who delivered it lace out to the Magpies full forward. And he can go back and potentially kick after the siren, I reckon. Siren imminent. Timekeepers have looked after me beautifully there. And this would be an absolute full stop on this result here for Montmorency. Matthew Clark comes in and kicks the goal. So the perfect finish there for Montmorency. They've run away big winners here at Ben Friley Oval in a pretty big statement win. They've downed second place Hurstbridge 17-10-112. They've won by 80 points, the Magpies, to Hurstbridge 4-8-32 as we look at the